Good evening, everyone. I'm Agent Pumpkin, and welcome to the archives. Today I have a Halloween special of a build, my open world striker 2.0. It's almost as insane as I am. Now, without further ado, to the build breakdown. Starting things off with the specialization, I am using the gunner specialization for the extra fire rate it provides and armor on kill, as well as access to the skill Banshee Pulse, one of my favorite crowd control abilities in the game. So that's why I'm using the gunner specialization. As a friendly reminder, please make sure to remember to set whatever weapons you're using, pistol, assault rifles, and shotgun in this case, in the specialization. Now, moving on to the weapons, I am using the Rock and Roll AC-12 named shotgun. Just use any AC-12 shotgun that you want. I'm using this because in the most recent update, they finally fixed it to where when you take out the weapon, it has that extra 50% magazine capacity at 30. So beforehand, it was like bugged, or maybe it was intentional, I don't know, but for a while there, you'd always have to reload it, and then it would use up 10 of your ammo, and that would get really cost effective over time, so I didn't end up using it. The only point that I want to make out is I have 10% damage targets out of cover in my regular attribute, the highest multiplicative attribute currently in the game, and then there are my mods. If you want to pause to copy and paste them onto your mods, or if you're at all interested, please do so. Now for the main weapon of this entire build, I'm using the Chameleon Assault Rifle for a bunch of reasons, and I'll give you some alternatives once we get through this. So once again, damage targets out of cover re-rolled on mine. There are the stats. But I am taking advantage of Additive Instincts is the talent, which does three things. And those are hitting 30 headshots grants plus 20% crit hit chance and plus 50% crit hit damage for 45 seconds. So you gotta hit 30 headshots. Hitting 65 body shots grants plus 90% weapon damage for 45 seconds, which is so nice in this build. And then for the final and third part is hitting 20 leg shots grants 150% reload speed for 45 seconds. So all three of these are amazing, but the only ones I'd really say you need to focus on is the first two, which is the 30 headshots and the 65 body shots for the crit hit chance and crit hit damage and weapon damage. Absolutely crazy. You can't modify exotic mods, so that does not matter. Now moving on to my pistol, you can use whatever pistol you want. I'm using my placeholder I have in all my builds when I don't have a designated pistol in mind, which is the named the Orbit revolver pistol, which is my favorite pistol in the entire game. There are the stats if you're at all interested, and the talent. Just throw on whatever pistol you want with whatever talent. You can even do finisher. This is a Dark Zone exclusive, so you can only get this in the Dark Zone. At Benders, Dark Zone, regular, and then named and conflict caches is how I know you can get it. There are the mods I'm using if you're at all interested. And that goes into the disclaimer that I like to say for all my build videos. Please use this as a base template and make any changes you want. Really make it your own and experiment and have fun. That's what I like to do. So please keep that in mind. Change whatever you want, whether that's gear, weapons, specialization, or skills. Now, moving on to the gear set, I'm using the Striker, main star of the show, for the Striker open world build. It's absolutely insane. Starting things off with the mask and the Striker gear set bonus. When you have two pieces of the Striker gear piece, you get plus 15% weapon handling, which effects are like reload speed, accuracy, and all that good stuff. You can see it right here, accuracy, stability, reload time. So it just helps with everything there. For three pieces, you get plus 15% rate of fire, which is so important with this build. It helps just us output that much more damage and really get through people. Now, for four pieces, you get Striker's Gamble, which weapon hits increase the total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times, and one stack is lost per second between 0 and 50. Two stacks are lost per second between 50 and 100. So you can get plus 65% weapon damage just with this alone, so it's just crazy. In the core attribute, I have 170,000 armor, and the regular attributes I have 10.1% crit hit damage and a 5.9% crit hit chance mod. For all my gear pieces but the chest piece, I'm using a armor core, just keep that in mind. Now for the hands, I have 170,000 armor core, 4.8% crit hit chance. For the knee guards, I have 170,000 armor core and 12% crit hit damage in the regular attribute. In the core attribute, I once again 170,000 armor and 12% crit hit damage in the regular attribute. That's it for the striker gear set. Now moving on to the chest piece. I'm using the Fenrir's chest piece because in the brand set bonus you get plus 10% assault rifle damage, and that's pretty much it. It just helps with our assault rifle for Chameleon that much more. In the core attribute, I have 12.6% weapon damage. Again, if you get a god roll of this with all the stats on here, without having to re-roll any of them, you can re-roll that weapon damage to an armor core just to give you all armor cores if you want. I wasn't having luck finding that, so this is where I'm at. Still works great, as you can see. In the regular attribute, I have plus 12% crit hit damage, plus 6% crit hit chance, and a plus 12% crit hit damage mod, along with the talent Obliterate, which critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 20 times. So once you get your hits all the way up, we'll get another 20% weapon damage on top of the striker gear set and the Chameleon. It ramps up so much damage, it's insane. Now moving on to the backpack, and this is where I'm going to give some variation and talk about those alternatives with the assault rifles, because they kind of combo together in my opinion. So one thing I absolutely love about the Memento backpack is that you get all 3 cores on this backpack. So you get, in my case, 13% weapon damage, 154,000 armor, and a +1 skill tier just for equipping it. I have 5% armor because of my expertise, and then in the mod slot I put a +6% crit hit chance. Now the star of why I'm using this, and I think the Memento backpack personally has perfect synergy with the Chameleon, is because of kill confirm. Enemies you kill drop. If you ever play kill confirm in Call of Duty or anything like that, it's very similar to that. So what it does is enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short and long-term buff, the first of which scales with the number of core attributes equipped and lasts 10 seconds. So depending on your attributes equipped, the short-term buff will give you plus 5% weapon damage per attribute, plus 10% bonus armor per core attribute, and plus 5% skill efficiency per core attribute. For every trophy collected, gain an additional 1, and here's the long-term buff. That was the short-term buff, sorry. I want to just clarify that. Now here's the long-term buff. For every trophy collected, gain an additional 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regeneration for 300 seconds, so 5 minutes, a maximum of 30 stacks. So on top of that short-term buff, we can stack up to get 30% additional weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency, and 3% armor regen, which just is nuts. And with all our armor cores, that percentage multiplies off of that, which is just amazing. The alternative I would recommend is, I have one right here. I use this in my original open world striker build, the Liquid Engineer, and I love the Liquid Engineer as an alternative. It is a Dark Zone exclusive, so again, you can only get from the Dark Zone, vendors in the Dark Zone, name caches, and conflict caches, but it comes with the talent Perfect Bloodsucker. I'm not going to go over everything. You can pause and read it if you want, but the quick synopsis is with it, you can get plus 12% bonus armor for 10 seconds. A max is 10, so you can get 120% bonus armor with it. I believe it's 10% with the regular Bloodsucker. If you don't have the Liquid Engineer, use like a Seska backpack with these type of stats, just that headshot damage. Get rid of for crit hit damage, to have crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and crit hit damage mod. If you need crit hit chance, Seska, crit hit damage, Group Sombra, just damage, use Walker Harris. Those are the alternatives I would recommend with these stats if you're at all interested in it. And the Liquid Engineer, I think, pairs extremely well with something like the Eagle Bearer or St. Elmo's Engine if you don't have it, since it's a raid exotic. But I like using the Liquid Engineer for assault rifles that handle mid to long range exceptionally well, so that way I can post up and have good positioning and not have to move to get the bonus armor. Meanwhile, the Chameleon, it's an assault rifle, but it really plays a lot more like an SMG, and you need time to you need to be in close quarters, which I love and think the Memento backpack has perfect synergy with anything you're running with close quarters because of the bonus armor and you having to run up and get the trophies in order to get anyway. So that's just my quick thoughts on it. Is I think Liquid Engineer is perfect for mid to long range, while I think the Memento has perfect synergy with the Chameleon or anything you're using like shotguns or SMGs that you're going to be up in their face anyway. So those are my thoughts. Now moving on to the skills and then stats, then I'll show you the final gameplay footage. So for my first skill, I'm using the Crusader Ballistic Shield. You can get it up to a max of tier 6 skill, which gives you plus 60% active regeneration, plus 250% shield health, and 40% holster regeneration. There are my mods in it if you want to pause and are all interested in using what I'm using. And again, I'm able to hit that tier 6 because I only have 5 armor cores. But again, that's why I'm using Memento Backpack, because the extra skill tier gives us that thing, that extra skill tier for tier 6. If you do get a god roll on the Fenris once again, then and an armor core in that, then you don't have to worry about that, and you can use like the Liquid Engineer or Assault Rifle or whatever and still get tier 6. So just keep that in mind. Now for my secondary skill, this one is really like I said, both skills are up to you. I love using the Banshee Pulse skill, and again, we get that from the Striker Specialization, is how we have access to it. For the crowd control it provides, it just really helps with both of these having some good synergy. If you don't like this, you can use Striker Drone, Decoy, Artificer Hive is, or not Artificer Hive, sorry, Reviver Hive is a great alternative just to have an extra life. Those are the recommendations I'd recommend. Now to kind of show off the skills real quick, if I could aim, sorry, let's get this up to Veteran. Named, there we go. So let me build up my stacks. So I'm using the AC-12 to build up my stacks. You can see on my UI, underneath all that armor and my weapon counter, there's like a green Gatling gun and a fist. That is obliterating the Striker talent. As soon as I get that maxed up, then I have maxed up on both of them. Then I switch off, go to my Chameleon, and then there's the headshot bonus. You can see the symbol next to my Chameleon. It's now white. When I shoot though, like if I shoot the body, it will hit start going orange, but as soon as it hits becomes white, then there the buff is active. So I now have the increased crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and weapon damage, which just ramps up even more. And then once we build up our stacks with the Memento Backpack on top of all these other stacks, it just creates some insane damage. You can just see the named enemy I'm shooting in the head just melts it, and it says right there 15 million DPS just right there. It's just insane, so satisfying. Really loving this build. So just to show off the Banshee Pulse, I just do that. It goes out in like a huge cone arc, and then boom, that symbol above their head means they're stunned for that amount of time, and then you can use that to get into cover or take them out or what have you. I like to use it at the beginning of every fight and then every second's out, and then obviously use your shield in and out of cover and for extra protection between health. Now that's it for the examples for everything. I'm going to move on to the stats, and then we can move on to the final gameplay footage. So for the Chameleon, I have 77,000 weapon damage, 47.7% crit hit chance. You want to aim for 40 to 50% crit hit chance with this, by the way, because of the extra crit hit chance and damage it provides. So even if you're at like 40%, it's once you get that crit hit chance buff, it will get you close to 60. So don't worry about that too much. And then the extra crit hit damage buff as well is just insane. 70% headshot damage, 21% health damage, and I have damage targets out of cover rolled on everything, just as a reminder. Now moving on to the offensive, I have 35.6% all weapon damage bonus, 39% assault rifle damage bonus, 15% submachine gun, which I don't really need. I could 15% shotgun damage bonus, and that's it for now. We've already gone over the gear talents and brand set bonuses, so let's move on to the defensive, and that will be it. So for the defensive, I have 1,651,000 armor. It rounds up to the nearest 50,000, so on the bottom left corner it says 1.7 million, but that's the exact number. For once again having access to the Striker tree, it's giving us armor on kill, so we're getting 165,000 armor on kill. And then this says 0 armor regeneration, but with our armor cores and getting max stacks with the Memento Backpack, all 30 of them, it will give us around, I'll throw up a picture on screen now, but it's about 49,000 armor regen, or somewhere in the video. I'll throw it up maybe multiple times. But yeah, on top of all of this, we'll have around 49,000 armor regeneration, 339,000 max health, and that's pretty much it. That's the build. please enjoy this Halloween special. Everyone have a frightful, spooky Halloween. Enjoy yourselves. Take care. Be safe. Have a wonderful rest of your day/night. And bye.
The outcasts are coming. We will hunt you down. We will beg for mercy.